Authorities in the United States say they've arrested the man accused of killing right-wing influencer Charlie Kirk. They say one of his own family members helped turn him into police. Kirk was shot and killed on Wednesday while speaking at a university campus in Utah. We are muting the name of the suspect in the following report in keeping with German media law.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him.
It was the news America had been waiting for. In the end, the suspect's own father provided the breakthrough.
I cannot speak to that. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident.
Prior to his arrest, images of the suspect had been shared with the media in the hope that the public could help provide answers. Investigators received more than 7,000 tip-offs in the 33 hours it took to identify their man.
The suspect was apprehended in a historic time period. And I want to highlight what Governor Cox said. This would not have been possible without you, the media, and you, the public. That's why we went so public, so fast, and we're so transparent, and we're committed to that transparency.
Kirk was gunned down on Wednesday while addressing a large crowd at Utah Valley University. An anti-fascist slogan was inscribed on an unused bullet casing found inside the abandoned murder weapon. Now, a 22-year-old believed to have fired that gun is being held at Utah County Jail. Charges are set to follow.
This is a very much an ongoing investigation, as the governor said, and we will continue to work with state and local authorities to develop the investigation, to provide them the evidence they need for their ongoing prosecutions.
While the killer's motive is not yet known, President Trump, who credited Kirk with inspiring young conservative voters, has already called for swift punishment.
I hope he's going to be found guilty, I would imagine, and I hope he gets the death penalty.
Others are calling for calm in a deeply divided nation.
To my young friends out there, you are inheriting a country where politics feels like rage. It feels like rage is the only option. But through those words, we have a reminder that we can choose a different path. Your generation has an opportunity to build a culture that is very different than what we are suffering through right now.
Kirk's killer may have been found, but the search for answers is just beginning.
I'd like to welcome Clark McCauley now, Research Professor of Psychology at Bryn Mawr College in the US. Welcome to DW. Now, there's a lot that's still not known about the suspect and any possible motivations, and he hasn't yet been formally charged. But could you help us understand how a young man could do something like this?
Well, our research has found basically two different kinds of lone wolf terrorists. One is disconnected and disordered. These are individuals who are loners and have impaired social connections, often suffering from some kind of depression. And they turn to violence more as an escape from their own demons than for any particular cause. But the second kind we call carrying compelled, and these are people who feel others suffering so deeply that they feel compelled to do something about it. They feel compelled to strike back against those they perceive as victimizing people they care about.
I'd like to sort of ask you a bit more about the violence aspect. Family members are quoted as saying that this young man had become more political in recent years. Of course, a lot of people do have political grievances, but how does that then cross a line and manifest itself as violence in some people?
Well, to offer you two categories of how that can happen. And I don't know enough yet to say which category, carrying compelled or disconnected. This particular suspect might fall into.
Okay. Look, that's fair enough. If I just remember your first answer, you were sort of saying that these people are, they become sort of disconnected. How common are incidents like this generally?
Oh, very. One thing maybe I could say useful for your that you can't understand this kind of behavior on the basis of hate. Hate is just a reflection of love. It's love for an in-group that motivates people to strike out against the perceived enemies of those they care about.
Okay. I'd like to finally ask you about the impact on a suspect's loved ones. We're hearing this man's own father encouraged to turn himself in. How difficult is a decision like that, given the discussion and how heated it is?
Well, of course, it's very difficult. I don't know anything about the family situation here, so it's hard to say very much about the particulars of how the father came to this decision, but of course, it has to be.
It seems we're having some problems with our line to Professor Clark McCauley, so we're going to have to leave it there. But I would like to thank you so much for your time, Professor. That's Professor Clark McCauley from Bryn Mawr College in the United States.